Hey troops, GeneralJSmith here, back with another LEGO Star Wars Summer 2017 set build and review. This is the Bounty Hunter Speeder Bike Battle Pack, set number 75167, ages 6 to 12, comes with 122 pieces, and will be retailing for £12 or $15 when it was released on June 1st. So, this is certainly one of the more anticipated of these sets. I've seen a lot of comments recently of people saying they want me to review it, and of course, here I am. I can see why it is somewhat popular. After all, it's certainly not the conventional battle pack, and I have said numerous times, to me, battle packs are meant to be kind of more army building sets, which is the reason I actually really enjoy this battle pack, which I just reviewed. But this, of course, is not. This is a one-time purchase, and I can still see the appeal of it, however, and I don't dislike it in any way, believe it or not. In fact, I can say that this is certainly one of the better battle packs we have had in years of LEGO Star Wars, which may surprise quite a few of you. Now, of course, that is completely down to the minifigures, which are the main part, although even the speeder does look quite cool, and I can't wait to open it. Now, yes, if you do have these minifigures already, you may be a little annoyed that they have gone down significantly in price, because until now, Dengar was pretty exclusive to only like a few different sets, which are quite expensive. But still, for those of you who do not have these minifigures already, this is certainly a good pickup. And yes, while it is only a one-time pickup, it definitely would be worth it. And I could see this going up in price when it's retired in a couple years' time. Nonetheless, before we go any further, we of course have to build it. So, with that being said, let's go now and build the Bounty Hunter Speeder Bike Battle Pack. Here is our Bounty Hunter Speeder Bike, and of course, as you may expect for a battle pack of this size, it didn't take very long, only a bit more than 10 minutes or so. Of course, the Speeder Bike is built pretty much the same sort of way as many other Speeder Bikes we have had in the past. After all, Speeder Bikes are quite common in the Star Wars universe. With that being said, we'll now move straight on to the minifigures. I cannot wait to have a look at these guys. First off, we're going to start with Dengar. Our first minifigure is Dengar, and I just want to say before I start on this minifigure that I love the way Star Wars and Star Wars fans can take such minor characters such as Dengar or Bossk or IG-88 and turn them into such iconic characters to the point where some people who haven't even watched Star Wars do kind of recognize these kind of characters, which is incredible considering they were only in the film for maybe a couple seconds. So to me, that is just such a big plus of the Star Wars community. We can take such minor characters and give them such major roles in sort of like expanding universe and fan fiction and all that stuff. Nonetheless, here we have, of course, Dengar. His coloration is significantly different to the average minifigure. Of course, we are used to seeing sort of Imperial officers and that kind of stuff who have a lot of color sort of separation, but you know, it kind of fits the thing. Whereas Bounty Hunters, of course, have a lot of different colors, things that make them really stand out. Dengar, of course, is no different with the brown arms and the brown legs going with the white torso and the white gloves. You really see a lot of sort of contrast there, which is quite nice. There is no actual printing. In fact, I would say almost a lack of printing because there's no leg printing whatsoever, just the same brown we have up on the arms here. The brown is also going, of course, printed onto the torso. It's, of course, a white torso there. But we also have what reminds me very much of the Snowtrooper, the Imperial Snowtrooper sort of printing here. Of course, though, in the brown as well as we've got some sort of dirt or dust marks or whatever they may be there, which is some quite nice detailing. The face printing, of course, is only one-sided face and is printed onto a white head, which is rare, although, of course, Dengar, of course, wears wrapping all around his face and all that stuff, which is quite nice. I'm not sure if this is new sort of actual face printing. Of course, it technically is, because, of course, it's printed on Dengar, but I believe this might be somewhat similar to things we have had in the past. If it isn't, nonetheless, it is still very cool, as well as this kind of headpiece sort of thing. It's meant to be, of course, attached to his head to be part of his scarf sort of thing, which is quite nice. Moving around onto the back, you can see his backpack is a pretty simple design, nothing too special there, you know, simple peg attaching it there. taking his head off, you can see his back printing quite clearly. He actually does a fair amount of back printing, considering the fact that the backpack does cover up the majority of it. But overall, a very nice minifigure, of course, certainly a very nice addition to anyone's collection. While he isn't incredibly notable, he is certainly more notable than you may think for a character who's only in the films for, as I said, a few seconds. And that to me just is incredible. The Star Wars community can create such incredible sort of stories and fan fiction, all that, just from such minor characters. Still, that is it to Dengar. Very nice minifigure, of course, very rare, although not really as rare now. To my knowledge, the only two sets that ever come in are the Super Star Destroyer and possibly the UCS Slave one, although do not quote me on that. Nonetheless, both sets are incredibly expensive, so this is definitely the cheapest way to get them. And just like the Flame Trooper from the last Battle Pack, it really depends, whether or not you like this. It really depends. If you have him already, then perhaps you won't like the fact it comes as a cheap set, because it's almost like you wasted your money in getting a Dengar. But if you don't have him, like me, then it's definitely a good and easy way to pick him up if you can. But that is it then to Dengar. Certainly a great minifigure to have in anyone's collection. Goes very well with your Bounty Hunter collection. Let's move now on to IG-88. Here we have IG-88, and just like Dengar, IG-88 has become iconic in his own right because of fans, and because even though he was only seen for maybe a few seconds and didn't even say anything, he has still become a very known character within the Star Wars universe. Nonetheless, here we have him. Of course, his droid sort of arm and legs and stuff is all the exact same as a regular battle droid. But the only real difference is the fact, of course, the colouring, which is kind of more of a grey, slightly, I wouldn't really say chrome, but more slightly metallic than just the usual sort of grey we have seen before, which is quite nice. And of course, the sort of, if you will, head, or I'm not sure if you call it headpieces, whatever. Nonetheless, it's quite nice as well. Of course, this is a printed piece, which is very nice. Again, just like Dengar, we haven't seen him incredibly commonly. I believe we also saw him in the Super Star Destroyer, which of course was very expensive. Although, we have seen some of these droids, not actually the same one, but similar sort of droids, assassin droids, in a few battle packs before, which is, quite nice. Although, personally, I haven't actually got one before, so still. One thing I forgot to mention with Dengar was the fact every single one of these characters does come with one of these flick missile blaster things, which, as I said before, I'm not a massive fan of, but still, you do get in the set, which I guess is quite nice. Although IG-88 also comes with a rifle attached to his back, which of course is attached there by a very simple stud, what you would expect, really, nothing too special, which is quite nice because you can give it to him, and it does make a cooler kind of look for IG-88 rather than this whatever that is. But nonetheless, not really a massive amount to go over with him. It's really what you see is what you get. To be honest with you, of course, you can really see how it is all done, the sort of cone piece as well as, this kind of thing here. As I said, that is printed, which is very nice. I mean, I don't really think Lego would make a sticker for it, but nonetheless, still quite cool. They gave us a printed piece for him. IG-88, definitely then a rare minifigure, although not quite as rare as people like Dengar or Bossk, or of course the new minifigure we have here. But, of course, a very good addition, just like Dengar, to anyone's Bounty Hunter collection. Next up, we have Bossk, who, just like Dengar and IG-88, has become known because of the fan base, because those people who have made fan fiction and stories and all sorts of things around him, as well as the Clone Wars, which kind of portrayed Bossk as Boba Fett's right-hand man. Nonetheless, here we have Bossk, who, just like the notorious Bounty Hunter, is certainly a lot different sort of coloured and looking than the regular minifigure. He has this kind of creamish, yellowish kind of tint to all his entire body, as well as he has this leg printing down here and the feet printing, which is very nice. In fact, I would say that he's the most detailed minifigure of this entire set, which is pretty cool when you consider you still got to review this guy. Nonetheless, we have Bossk here. I keep calling him Dengar by accident, so if I call him Dengar, I'm afraid that's my bad. Sorry about that. Nonetheless, Bossk overall is a very nice character. As I said, the printing really is immaculate here. Very nice, as well as, I mean, yes, of course, it is entirely accurate because, of course, he has his feet kind of actual bare, like he's not wearing any shoes or anything. He's kind of a weird alien. But, I mean, of course, with here, you can't really make that into Lego, so you had to make the entire thing yellow and just kind of try to print some sort of claws on, which does look a bit weird. Looks like he's kind of wearing shoes or like boots with kind of claws poking out. But, whatever, you deal with what you get. We also have some sort of grenades or little things down here to give it more detail, which is quite nice. We have some straps and stuff, which does go into the belt quite well, not incredibly well, although personally, I'm not a massive stickler for this, but if you are massively into detail, then yeah, it would be a little annoying the way the belt kind of doesn't really match up with the legs. Still, the belt does have some nice printing there, as well as the torso as well, kind of a jumpsuit type thing, and the back is also quite nice, although nothing too special there. And as I said, all these minifigures have this kind of flick blaster thing, which I am not a fan fan of. This, by the way, if you're unaware, is quite hard plastic. I believe Bossk, just like the other ones, have come in a couple sets, but it is quite rare as well. To my knowledge, I don't entirely know what sets. Maybe the Slave one, I'm sorry. I mean, I'm not entirely sure if he's coming in any sets. If he hasn't come in any sets yet, then that's a really good set to get him in, but I am pretty sure he's coming at least 1 or 2. Nonetheless, overall, a great minifigure, of course, as I said, with all these minifigures here, and I'm so glad that I got a great collection. So yeah, really nice little alien, and I cannot wait to see more of him in future media, really, books or whatever that may be. Now we'll move on to the last minifigure, which is actually the only minifigure, and I feel kind of bad for saying this as a Star Wars fan, but he's the only minifigure who I literally do not know the name of. Our final minifigure is For Lom, who of course is a bounty hunter just like the others. I couldn't find a lot of information on him, but to my knowledge he is, as you may be able to tell, an alien with cybernetic implants. Of course he is completely unique to this set and exclusive, and he's certainly something to behold. He is definitely out there in terms of LEGO minifigures. In fact, he's something really you'd expect more like an Alien Conquest set rather than an actual Star Wars set. Still, it really does give some variety to Star Wars universe, and certainly is a very welcome addition to the Star Wars minifigure collection. As I said, he just comes with the spring-loaded, not spring-loaded, I don't know why I keep calling these spring-loaded, but you know, these things, which I'll take off to give a bit of a better look. Looking at the feet, by the way, the entire torso and legs is all the sort of same colour moulding. I believe it's kind of this more chromish, greyish kind of silver type thing. It is more chrome than the IG-88 sort of droid arms, but it's still, you know, not quite on the verge of chrome, more like gunmetal chrome really, I suppose. Moving on to the legs, you can't see it too well because the lighting is a little bad, but we do have some leg printing down there, which is quite nice. It does kind of cut off, which is a little unfortunate, and I don't really know why some minifigures do this, considering that Bossk, he doesn't have the same problem. The printing down there is perfect, whereas some minifigures, it just kind of cuts off. I have no idea why. Ask LEGO. Nonetheless, that's some nice printing down there, as well as on the belt, and the, as I said before, just with Bossk, it is a bit annoying in the fact the belt printing doesn't quite go over into the actual torso, but I'm not a stickler, so I don't really care, but if you are, then, you know, maybe a bit of an issue. Nonetheless, the torso printing is somewhat basic. It looks somewhat similar to C-3PO in my personal opinion, but that's just me sort of having a quick little look at it, as well as the back does look also somewhat similar to C-3PO and maybe some other sort of stormtroopers or whatever kind of back printing right there, which is kind of the reason why I think he probably is some sort of alien with cybernetic implants, kind of like a cyborg type thing. The head really is where it's all at. Of course, this is the certainly most new part of this minifigure. It is plastic just like Bossk is. It is, you know, hard plastic, not like the squishy like Plo Koon. We have the printing here for the eyes, of course, which is quite nice, sort of bug-eyed type guy. But yeah, really, it's not really an earlier printing. It's mostly just sort of a unique mold. I'm not sure if we'll ever see him again. We might see him again. Of course, he comes in a very cheap set today, so you know, it's not as if it's one of those rare minifigures LEGO only puts in like really big sets. So yeah, in some of the Slave ones or maybe some other Empire sets, we may very well see this guy again. Maybe some sort of Star Destroyer or something like that would be very cool. Still, very nice minifigure. I'm not sure which one I like the best, considering that I don't actually have any of these minifigures before, so this is the first time for me for all of them. I'm not really sure, though I suppose if you do have like people like Bossk or IG-88 or Dengar, then you may like this guy the best, because of course he's the only one who is actually exclusive to this set. Nonetheless, in my opinion, certainly a good addition, all of them are, and of course, as with every battle pack, the minifigures are where the value truly is, and I certainly think the value is there with these minifigures. With that being said, let us now go on to the actual speeder bike, which comes with the Bounty Hunter speeder bike battle pack. While the minifigures are great with this set, the set itself also is something of note. This, I mean, in my personal opinion, of course, sets aren't really the main focus of battle packs, but it's still very nice to get a set which is somewhat valuable. A good example of this to me would be the Bossk speeder from 2011. While the set itself, like the battle pack, wasn't incredibly well praised because it has some sort of dodgy minifigures in it, like the Bomb Squad Troopers, I personally loved this battle pack because mainly of the Bossk speed and the fact it's so usable. This is similar kind of concept. Comparing in size, you can see it is a bit taller actually, and it is also a bit wider, so it certainly has a bit of size to it. But the more thing I love about this set is the fact that it really does look like a Bounty Hunter speeder bike. It looks like something you could see in the Clone Wars or something like that, and it really looks like something you could sort of just see speeding past, and it fits so well with the kind of Bounty Hunter ideal. We have had, of course, so many speeders over the history of LEGO Star Wars, and most of them, if they're not Bossk speeders, then they're probably like little speeders like that, or maybe like massive speeders or scout speeders kind of thing. But this, in my opinion, is one of the first true speeders that really looks looks like a proper speeder, but not like a full-on like Bossk speeder or anything, like really something a bounty hunter would use. There aren't a great amount of features, of course, as you expect. We do get these flaps at the front there, which do move, although not really meant to. I think it's just Lego designed. We have these sort of, I suppose, cannons kind of thing here. I'm not entirely sure what they're meant to do, of course. I guess they're meant to be sort of some sort of heavy cannon, which are quite nice and very nice detailing. It gives it a lot more sort of oomph, a lot more power, and a lot more of an idea, like a lot more of a concept than it looks like a sort of bounty hunter has sort of customized it rather than just a sort of regular plain speeder. Moving on to the back, of course, the guy would sit there holding onto these bars here. There are no stickers or printed things on the set other than IG-88. It would be nice if maybe we got like a little sticker for this, like a tattoo or some sort of, you know, emblem to kind of give the idea it's kind of been painted and all that stuff by bounty hunter. But still, we do get this back here. This is a fairly rare piece to me. You may see a lot more if you're into Lego City, but for me, at least into Star Wars, I don't see a great amount, which is quite nice. As well as, of course, this does fold in and out. Well, that's not really meant to do that. I don't really think it does much. I assume these are meant to be cannons or something. We, of course, have the stud shooters here, which, again, as you do not know, there you go. Very easy to fire, and of course you do get many spares. A bit of detailing back here. I guess there's an engine as well as a backpack here, which does give it more detail as well, more kind of custom bounty hunter sort of feel to it, rather than like the Bossk speeder, which is meant to be more like an official sort of Republic, you know, military vehicle. This, of course, is meant to be for bounty hunters, so it's meant to be more sort of customizable. There we go, then that is more it to the the bounty hunter speeder bike. There's really not a massive amount to say to it. It's a nice little set, certainly worth getting. Of course, I wouldn't recommend buying this just for the speeder, but considering what it could have been, like a really random walker thing, this is certainly a very nice addition. And while, as I've said many times already, minifigures are certainly the highlight of any battle pack, it is still always nice to get a little set you can use, even if it's just for parts. So for that reason, I would say this is a worthy addition to the set, and I really, when it comes to bounty hunter, and when it comes to bounty hunter battle pack, I really couldn't have asked for much more. The instruction manual, just as I said with the last review I did, is nothing too special other than the fact it is significantly larger than the average instruction manual, which I guess isn't a big deal, but, you know, something worth noting. We have the inventory on the back here, as well as the regular advertisement for the latest Lego app. We have some new art here, which actually we did not get on the previous battle pack. This is, of course, the Freemaker Adventures. Those two sets I do not currently have, although if you really want me to get them, leave it down in the comments and I may consider it. If enough people ask me to get them, I will consider getting them, because the Arrowhead, in my opinion, does look kind of cool, as well as the minifigure that comes in the Tracker 1, in my opinion, is incredible. But overall, if you're not incredibly fussed about them, I'm unlikely to pick them up, especially for the price they're kind of retailing at. Here we have, of course, the minifigure lineup for this entire line, not including the ones coming with a Jedi Hyperdrive booster ring thing. But hopefully I will pick up most of these, especially the cool ones, but, you know, we'll see what happens there. Got some sets on the back there. As I've said in previous reviews, I do not have either of those sets, but I do have more or less all the others, apart from the Rathtar, I can't pronounce it, Rathtar Escape, I think, whatever. A little longer build than the previous battle pack. This one has 24 pages, but of course still quite quick. I think it's about 10 or more pieces or so, something like that. But yeah, let's now move on to the box. The box as well is, of course, what you would expect for a battle pack. It is pretty much the standard kind of thing. We have on the back here the little features. The only feature, of course, it has available on the box is those things, because, of course, it doesn't have a lot of features actually included within the set. It doesn't really count the cannons or whatever they are moving back and forth. It doesn't count that as a feature, so there you go. I'm not entirely sure where this is. It looks like sort of inside of hangar. Of course, this isn't really canon to any particular scene. The only time we ever saw these characters together was in episode 5. Other than that, they kind of went their separate ways. Still, we of course on the top there, Lom. Oh, I actually had to Google him, by the way, to find out what his name was, so I did the review of him. But it turns out his name was right there, so I could have just looked there. Oh well. Nonetheless, there's Lom. And overall, nice little set. Now, thank you for watching my review, and let's go now and conclude my review of the Bounty Hunter Speeder Bike Battle Pack. Thank you for watching my review of the Bounty Hunter Speeder Bike Battle Pack 75167. To reiterate what I've said throughout this review, this is certainly unconventional battle pack, I think we can all agree. And as I've said in the last 4 years I've been doing YouTube videos on Lego, to me a great battle pack, the ones I really love, are the best army builders. I love building armies, specifically clones, but also Empire and the First Order now, which actually is a big reason why I really love the recent battle pack, which is on the First Order Transporter. But to me, this is still a great one. In fact, fact, I would go up there with one of the best battle packs we've ever had. Partially because maybe it's so unconventional, partially because these minifigures are so incredibly rare and I don't have them, and partially because the set itself is quite cool, which is somewhat rare for battle packs. They normally don't really have that good sets. They normally are just kind of random walks and you kind of want to just break them down for parts. But really, all in all, this is a great little set to pick up. Now, of course, this is not really something you want to pick up multiples of unless you really want to store them for investment purposes, which could be quite good, by the way. Now, I don't know how much these will go up in price. I mean, perhaps if these minifigures don't come in any other sets in the future, they will go up in price, although, of course, not by much because it is a battle pack and it is quite cheap, so more people are like to pick it up. Still, it might be a good investment. If you buy a ton of them, who knows? This might be quite valuable in a few years to come. Overall, then, worth picking up. I think we can all agree it is certainly a good battle pack. Not amazing in every conceivable way, mainly because, as I said, I am biased towards the army builders, but for what it is and for what you get with it, I can certainly see the appeal of it, and I can see where LEGO is going for this. And considering that we've had 3 other battle packs this year, I can definitely say this is worth getting, and LEGO, you did a good job in making it, more or less. Not as if you're watching this video, though, anyway. Thank you guys for watching this review then. I hope you did enjoy it. My next review will be on the quad jumper, so stay tuned for that. I will see you next time. Bye, troops. Hey troops, GeneralJSmith here, back with another LEGO Star Wars Summer 2017 winter set build. Yep. Back with another LEGO Star Wars Summer 2017 build. Back with another. We have the sort of yellow. Use your eyes, Josh. External sources after the film. Dengar, not Dengar, Bossk. Right-hand man to the one and only Boba Fett. Dengar here. Stop calling him Dengar. Become known through the fans and certainly goes well with the minifigures. I'm not just saying that because, of course, it is the band stuff you can actually use in your mocks and all that kind of stuff. So this is something very nice. Start again. That was crap.